So happy 2021! It is officially January 1st as I'm recording this, and this is a video that's been a long time in the making. From my controller consistently going downhill, refusing to listen to anything I want it to do, to demons not dying. I've had pinkies eat 2 blood punches, a super shotgun blast, and a ballista blast, and still not die. And yeah, needless to say, my master level's kind of been a shit show lately. So I apologize for the delay, but finally, I sat down and on a blind run, I beat this thing back to back, and I think I have a pretty solid, in-depth guide on how to make this level way easier. And of course, like always, these guides are tailored for console players. If you play on PC, the tips should be just as applicable, and as a matter of fact, should actually be easier since you actually have the ability to quick swap. And I also do want to give a quick shout out to your boy McCain over in the Discord, who was kind enough to give some additional advice throughout the course of this level. So intermittently, I'm going to include his advice along with what I do, because Doom Eternal is a game where everyone has different means to reach the same end ultimately. But without wasting any more time, let's get started. So when you first jump into the Super Gore Master level, depending on whether if your game decides to work right or not, you're going to be confronted with 2 to 3 lost souls. Just play it safe and expect 3 though. Now what I like to do to take care of them is I would use a precision bolt on the 3 of them, and then after each shot switch to a different weapon to bypass the cooldown of the precision bolt. After taking care of those 3 lost souls, you're going to turn the corner and you're going to deal with 2 shielded soldiers, which you should be able to make quick work of by meat hooking, hitting them with the flame belch, and then blood punching both of them and ending them off with a nice glory kill. Before moving forward, you're going to stay on this cliff and you're going to do the exact same thing with the next 3 lost souls. Sometimes the soldier jumps in the air. Go ahead and snipe him out of the air if you want, but I like to prioritize those lost souls, then immediately jump over and focus on the revenant. We're going to do a quick pause here. The rest of this guide, I'm going to assume that your character's completely maxed out. So you have all your runes, all your prayer suit points are maxed, and all your weapons are mastered. I do also want to say that throughout the course of this entire guide, I only stick to 3 runes: Air Control, Equipment Fiend, and Punch and Reeve. There are specific parts as to why Punch and Reeve is very helpful, which we'll go over later. So in the next area, you're going to be confronted with a tyrant down this long hallway, a bunch of fodder demon, and if you get too close to the tyrant, you're going to trigger 2 arachnotrons to spawn. Now we're going to actually use that to our advantage. You're going to enter this fight with your destroyer blade equipped and your meat hook equipped. You're going to dash all the way towards the tyrant. You're going to meat hook the tyrant, and provided that your meat hook actually works, you're going to throw yourself above it, fire off the ice bomb, and if you were close enough, you should have triggered both arachnotrons. In this gameplay, my meat hook didn't work. I thought it was still a good save, but the point being, you want to hit both arachnotrons and the tyrant with an ice bomb, follow that up with 2 blood punches, backtrack towards the entrance like I do here, fully charge up your destroyer blade, and fire that off. That should kill off both arachnotrons, allowing you to focus exclusively on that tyrant, which you can do by just spamming the lock-on mod from the rocket launcher. First the meat hook, now the blood punch. Awesome. Next, you're going to move into this area. You're going to trigger 2 cacodemons and at least 1 of the barons to spawn. I like to prioritize both the cacodemons and then move my way back over to the entrance that we came from, or you can also mess around with the monkey bars that are in the area. Just be aware you are going to have to be dodging a lot of projectiles from imps, so I prefer to just go back to the entrance and let everything funnel towards me. The best way to deal with barons, which I don't actually have it, this is how I deal with them in the Ancient Gods DLC, is to hit him with an ice bomb, pull out the Unmaker, and fire the Unmaker at him for about 2 to 3 seconds, then switch back to a super shotgun ballista, and you should be killing them incredibly fast. If not, just nades, lock on mod, and stay on the move. You should be completely fine. Once you take care of both barons, you're going to trigger 2 Hell Knights and a Dread Knight to spawn. The Dread Knight spawns on top of a fuel canister, so if you've already wasted 1 of your chainsaws, just try to pick it up and then you can use it on one of the Hell Knights, or if you haven't used 1 of your chainsaws yet, you can just chainsaw the Dread Knight, get him out of the way, and then lock on mods on both Hell Knights, as that'll instantly kill them. Once they're taken care of, there's going to be some carcasses that spawn in the arena. There's also going to be a fuck ton of revenants. Revenants are easy. I basically wait a moment for the majority of them to spawn in. As I'm waiting, I like to take out the carcasses and deal with some fodder demon. Then I like to go back towards the entrance and fully charge up a destroyer blade, and then try to wait for as many revenants to end up down the center. You're gonna fire that off, and that should kill at least 4 or 5 of them. Now just finish off any revenants that were hiding and then take care of any remaining carcasses, and then that's it. You're allowed to now move on to the next area. What I like to do here is I'll wait around this corner, try and trigger the Dread Knight to pop up, hit him with the lock-on mod, go in for the glory kill, go back towards the corner, switch to my ice bomb, meat hook the Cybermancubus, freeze him, blood punch, super shotgun. Easy enough. You're gonna climb this wall, turn around, jump up, and careful, 2 tentacles will pop up right there, so you kind of want to dash through. You're gonna go through this doorway, 2 tentacles are also gonna pop up again here. I always go left, take care of that first tentacle, and then prioritize the buff totem that's always gonna be right here. And now you just basically are gonna be taking out carcasses. McCain recommends staying on this top level, looking down, charging up 1 destroyer blade, trying to bunch up carcasses and taking care of them with that 1 charged up blade, which is probably the best way to do it. But I would also suggest try to get them next to the red barrels and just fire off grenades, because those are just going to keep respawning and you're not wasting any ammo. But after killing enough carcasses, you're going to trigger 4 Hell Knights to spawn, just like the method that we did in the first arena. We're going to backtrack to the doorway that we first entered this entire room from, and as we're backtracking, you're going to try to lock onto some of the Hell Knights. That way you're instantly getting rid of them. There's a good chance that as you're backtracking, carcasses are also going to come up here, which if they do, that's a prime opportunity to get rid of them with charged up destroyer blades. You don't even have to worry about their shields, as it'll cut right through it. I just want to say I didn't do that here because I didn't have that much ballista ammo and my dumbass almost died. So remember, it's all about improvising. Same thing with the Hell Knights. It's best to use lock-on mods on them, but if they're coming in too tight to you, then you're obviously going to have to use other things, which I switch back to super shock and ballista to take care of them. But once all the heavies are taken care of, my game is really inconsistent. Sometimes all the fodder dies, sometimes they don't. If the fodder doesn't die, this is your opportunity to chainsaw for ammo if you need it. If not, flame belch and get them in a glory kill, so that way you're getting your health and armor back. You can also come up here for an extra crucible if you need it, some more rocket launcher ammo, and if you come out here, there's sentinel armor that you can pick up. Just dash across and grab it. Once you grab that too, there's also going to be these 2 little compartments that's going to open up. The one on the right is extra armor, the one on the left is extra health. But now that we have health, armor, and ammo, we're going to move on to this next arena. Now this room is the fog room, where ultimately it's going to end with you fighting a marauder in the fog. The room doesn't fog up until you get about halfway through, so if you stay on this first half, you're not going to trigger the fight just yet. I would recommend taking this opportunity to scavenge around for some extra ammo, maybe even some extra health pickups. There are some lying around this arena, but when you trigger this fight, the first stage you're going to deal with nothing but fodder demon. I like to use the meat hook as an indicator as to where everything is, because you can't see shit, and I basically just meat hook everything and finish him off with a super shotgun. That way I'm getting some of my armor back from the meat hook, and then when you kill enough fodder demon, you're going to trigger 2 spectral whiplashes to spawn in. Now here's a little cool tidbit of information, again shared by McCain. When you first drop down, right here this corner is the corner that has the widest angle of the entire room. So if you want to charge up the destroyer blade, this is probably going to be your best bet. That way you get the widest spread. And from this position, the Marauder actually spawns around the corner immediately to your left. Oh, and the Marauder, when that first spawns in, there's going to be a zombie that spawns right in front of you. But we'll talk about that in a moment. The Whiplashes I'd recommend just trying to take care of with the fully charged Destroyer Blade. If not, then you can try hitting them with an Ice Bomb, and then that way you can meat hook, Super Shotgun, or whatever you want to do. Lock-on mod works as well, but as soon as you take care of both of those Spectres, the Marauder's going to spawn in, along with some Fodder Demon. Now, your best bet is essentially just to move in a circular motion. Don't stop. A lot of the times, the Fodder Demon are going to trigger wolves to spawn in. There's really nothing you can do about that. I would recommend to get rid of those either if you're not that accurate or you struggle a little bit with running, turning around, and immediately hitting the wolf. Maybe fire off some sticky bombs as, you know, proximity mines. So that way when the wolf comes within a few seconds of that sticky bomb, it'll take care of it. Maybe even firing off a grenade. But you want to move in a circular motion, and at the same time you want to be aware of the Marauder is and if a wolf ever spawns in. If you're panicking because of the Fodder Demon, I recommend firing off grenades. A lot of times they're going to cluster up, which if at least 2 to 3 of them cluster up, I'd recommend hitting them with an Ice Bomb, Flame Belch, then a grenade. That way you get your health and armor while clearing out some of the annoyances that the Fodder Demon are creating. But just pace yourself, use those pillars as cover from the Fodder Demon, even from the Marauder himself, and you should be perfectly fine. Once the Marauder and all the Fodder Demon are cleared out, if you haven't picked up the chainsaw in this arena, then props to you. Go ahead and pick that up now and use that as a second chainsaw. as we're going to use it as a means to get rid of one of the Mancubi that we're going to come across in the next arena. You're going to grab the yellow key, and if you go left, you're going to continue on, but if you need health or armor, go right, take the jump pad, there's going to be a mega health there. And now time for the fun part. In this arena, you're immediately going to be confronted with, I think it's 5 Cyber Mancubi. As you start chipping away at them, you're going to have 2 Pain Elementals spawn in, and then about 5 Cacodemons, and then 2 Barons. Off the top of my head, I think that's the way it is. What I like to do is immediately go to the right, circle around to this jump pad, and prioritize these 2 Cyber Mancubi. Ice Bomb, Blood Punch, Super Shotgun gets rid of one. The other one, Blood Punch, Grenade, Super Shotgun. And that immediately kills the second one, which in turn triggers both Pain Elementals to spawn, and from here I immediately fire off a BFG shot, taking care of all Cyber Mancubi, both Elementals, and now I just gotta deal with other Cacodemons that spawn. I basically just circled around the arena and had them all funnel over to me. When you're down to the last one, the 3 Barons are gonna spawn in, and I basically just brought them back over to this main area and started chipping away at all of them. Ideally, you want to hit all 3 of them with an Ice Bomb, because again, when demons are frozen, they receive extra damage, but this fight is kind of the epitome of you want to stay in the air and you want to stay mobile. If you can do those 2 things and be quick on your feet, then you should be completely fine. Just utilize all the gem pads that are in the area, take advantage of your meat hook, and of course don't forget, your shield mod is a saving grace. So when you're falling towards that lava, pull that shit out, so that way you don't take any damage. Or even if you're being cornered or you need a moment to think, pull it out. When all 3 Barons are killed, you just gotta finish off all the remaining fodder demon. I'd recommend taking this chance to get 2 blood punches, so get them in glory kills. Hit them with the flame belch, that way you get your resources back, because you want to get into the next fight with 2 blood punches and hopefully your ice bomb ready. There's also an extra BFG shot in the area if you want to pick that up before leaving. If not, you can save it till later. But moving into this fight, you want to equip the lock-on mod and the destroyer blade. Again, shout out to McCain, I think this is the best way to do this. Basically, when you enter, you want to fully charge up your destroyer blade, jump on this monkey bar, turn around, and focus on this tyrant that's spawned. You're going to fire off the destroyer blade, fire off a grenade so that way it stumbles the tyrant, and then you're basically just going to spam lock-on mod and then finish him off with the super shotgun. When that tyrant's dead, the next tyrant, the Doom Hunter, is going to spawn. Depending on your positioning and how dangerous the maneuver, I think is going to determine which of the 2 you should focus on first, between the Doom Hunter and the tyrant. Either way, what you're going to do is you want to crucible that second tyrant, and with the Doom Hunter you want to ice bomb him. Blood punches craft twice to get rid of it, and then super shotgun ballista, you should be getting rid of him incredibly fast. Or you can even do a lock-on mod. Then just finish off the carcasses, and if there's some fodder demon remaining, switch to your heavy cannon, shoot each of those fodder demon twice, and glory kill both of those. You basically want to have some blood punches moving to the next spot, and this is where the rune punch and reeve comes in handy, because in this next arena you're going to be confronted with a bunch of fodder demon, all affected by a buff totem, and with the help of punch and reeve, you're basically going to get an infinite blood punch in this section, allowing us to basically breeze through this entire area. I still like to flame belch and drop grenades because extra health and armor does contribute back to your blood punch, and it's just nice to have excess. Now on the last stage where you got to deal with the gargoyles, what I like to do is run to the center like lobby area, fire off a grenade, and then rely on remote detonation. That way I'm not wasting any blood punches, because I do use those later, and I'm not really wasting all that much ammunition, and it's a lot of crowd control without too much resource depletion. We're gonna clear this up, and then there's gonna be a fuel canister that we're gonna pick up on our way down the elevator, because the next area we're gonna be fighting a marauder and 2 arachnotrons. So grab that as your second fuel charge up. You're gonna come down this elevator, there's gonna be another fuel canister here, you're gonna grab that, and then there's gonna be a marauder that you're immediately faced with. There's 2 portals in this room as well, but the portals don't spawn unless you make your way to the other end of the room. And the 2 arachnotrons also don't spawn in until you do about, I want to say, half of the total health pool of the marauder. That could be completely wrong, but they don't spawn in immediately. Now, depending on the marauder's movement and the prospect of being cornered or not is going to determine which of the 2 arachnotrons you should chainsaw. But I'd recommend taking care of both of them, so that way you can focus on just the marauder. Here I got lucky and managed to be able to kill the marauder before the second arachnotron. But when all those heavies are taken care of, you want to port up armor, just like usual, but also I'd recommend trying use these fodder demons to get some more blood punches because you're gonna need it. And before walking through the next doorway, equip the Arbalist and equip the lock-on mod. You're gonna need it. So as soon as you dash across the toxic waste, 2 Cacodemons and a Doom Hunter is gonna spawn. You're gonna shoot the Arbalist at both Cacodemons, ice bomb the Doom Hunter, hit him with 2 blood punches, super shotgun ballista. As soon as you kill him, turn around and you're gonna immediately lock onto the Dread Knight that's just spawned. If all 3 rockets hit the Dread Knight, you're gonna put him in a glory kill. You immediately want to get rid of him. Now we have to deal with the 2 Cyber Mancubi, a bunch of fodder demon, and eventually there's going to be a couple Spectre Pinkies that spawn in. The best advice I can recommend to you is just move in a circular motion. Do not stop. Whenever you can, you want to bunch up as many demons as possible with the Ice Bomb. Follow that up with the Blood Punch if you do have it. If not, then Ballista, Super Shotgun, an Arbalist Blast for maybe a little crowd control or even a remote detonation. You can always pull out your shield mod from the chain gun to give you a moment to think and see where everything is and try and strategize on the fly. Honestly, as long as you keep moving in this motion and you don't stop and you keep that Cyber Mancubus at bay, you should be completely fine. Now we're going into the area where you got to deal with some tentacles, some fodder demon, and 2 tyrants. I'm going to show you guys how to ace this shit. So you want to immediately pull out your crucible. From here, you're going to go up on this ledge, pull it out, dash to bypass those tentacles, flame belch, crucible. You're going to move forward so that way you can pick up the second crucible charge. Feeling ballsy, you can chainsaw this tentacle. And then the ideal thing is to use the ledges and to use the monkey bars to kind of stay above the tyrant and not really risk getting hit by those tentacles. You can kind of repeat what we did earlier with the 2 tyrants and the Doom Hunter, where we're jumping on those monkey bars, spamming lock-on mod on the tyrant. You basically just want to stay elevated in the air. After that, you're going to move forward. A pain elemental is going to drop down here. 2 lock-on bursts will immediately kill it. Drop down, there's going to be some tentacles popping up out of the entrance right here, so be careful. There's going to be 2 Cacodemons and a couple carcasses. Now this is up to you. I like to retreat, let those Cacodemons come to me, and then I drop down and basically take the fight to the carcasses. Obviously, you just want to be wary of the toxic waste and how much damage it's inflicting on you. If you go right around the corner here, there's another BFG pickup, just so you know. Or you can hang up top, kind of right here, and let the carcasses come to you. Ideally, I like to take the fight to the carcasses because sometimes when they hop up, they don't always falter for me, and they immediately get into their spinning move, and you don't want to constantly be knocked back from that. After getting the red key and moving past that cutscene, you're going to come across this section where you have to deal with some fodder demon here. Just flame belch, grenade them. There's going to be 2 Spectre Pinkies that spawn in, and then once those are killed, 2 Cyber Mancubi. And let's be honest, you've played so much Doom Eternal, you shouldn't need me to tell you how to kill any of these. I will just give you a movement tip, and that's basically use the pillars that they're spawned behind as an advantage. They can't really turn all that quick, so just jump from one side of the pillar to the other. I would also suggest not using any ice bombs. Well, you can. Just in this next section where the buff totem spawns in and you got to deal with all the fodder demon, don't use your ice bomb because we're going to use that later. In this fog, I basically just drop down grenades, flame belch, hang around the area. Try to keep an eye out for when that Mancubus immediately spawns. You don't want him to sneak up on you or get the opportunity to take a huge chunk of your health. As soon as you see him, ice bomb him, blood punch, super shotgun should be enough, or in my case, ice bomb, super shotgun, ballista, super shotgun, and that's it. Now before you teleport, you're going to switch to your destroyer blade, fully charge it up, jump through the portal, and then you're going to fire it off. That way you take care of both arachnotrons. You basically just have to shoot at them once or twice. Now that they're both dead, we're going to dash across this gap here, and we're basically going to let everything funnel to us here. Be careful that none of the Mancubi drop on you like that just happened. And the fodder demon spawn non-stop, so be aware of that. I'm constantly dropping down grenades. It's like you got to be really good at multitasking. Keeping them at bay, hitting them with the flame belch while at the same time killing all the heavy demons that are slowly creeping up on you. Know that you are running the risk of being overran by fodder demon here, so there might be some moments where you're gonna have to push forward to avoid the risk of being cornered. So it's a pretty it's a pretty tough game. After taking care of the Mancubus and Cyber Mancubus, I basically move forward a little bit. I try to take care of the Revenants that's across the way from a distance, and the way I do so is via a destroyer blade. Now you can do it from this down position, or you can do it how I do it here, where basically I utilize this jump pad to launch myself in the air, fire the destroyer blade across the map, and it kills the revenants across the way. Obviously, that's just me playing incredibly safe. You don't have to do that. You can actually press forward with the revenants still alive. You just might have to dash to avoid the rockets, but that's just a level of caution if you want to adhere to it. Now, once you reach the other side, there's going to be an archvile that spawns. I don't know what I ended up firing off a BFG shot. Truthfully, you can either hit him with the crucible or hit him with an ice bomb, lock on super shotgun, grenade, and that should be enough to kill him, theoretically. The quickest way, hands down, would definitely be a crucible, but if you don't want to use super weapons, just ice bomb him and then throw everything you got at him. With the archvile taken care of, you're going to push forward, and careful, because as soon as you throw yourself up, there's a tentacle position to your left that 9 times out of 10 is going to hit you. So right here, I meat hooked the revenant, jumped up, dashed forward, so that way neither of the tentacles can hit me. That was probably the cleanest thing you can do to avoid getting hit. Once the revenants are dealt with, or even sometimes while the revenants are there, you're gonna have to deal with this baron that pops out. Once he's dealt with, if you need some extra health or armor before pushing forward, there is some sentinel armor across the way. There is health in this corner here, so stock up on that. You're gonna enter this hentai room that returned from Mars Core. As you're nearing the last 2 tentacles, a mancubus is gonna push into the room, and he's possessed by a buff totem, so be aware. You can take him out like we did with the first buff mancubus, hit him with an ice bomb, super shotgun ballista, super shotgun, or ice bomb, super shotgun, blood punch. Either way, you want to get rid of him very quickly. As soon as he's taken care of, switch to the chain gun, pull out the shield mod. I like to flame belch these 2 demons, drop down a grenade, take out the buff totem. Immediately a cacodemon is going to spawn. You want to pull out your sticky bombs, try and hit them with the sticky bomb, and then you want to hit all these fodder demon with at least 1, followed by a flame belch if that's able to be used. From there, you're going to come over here. This is where a second buff totem is going to spawn. You're going to get rid of it, and then basically just do what I do here. You want to keep moving so that way you're dodging any incoming attacks from the cacodemons or any other demons, while also hitting those cacodemons with this sticky bomb. If you're taking too much damage from the toxic waste, pull out your shield mod, and if you have a moment, dash to your left to get your suit replenished, or if not, just use that extra time to hopefully see a way to get out, because you don't want to get cornered here. Essentially, in a much shorter way, sticky bombs, grenades, ice bombs are your best friends. If you need a moment to catch your breath, or if you see a moment where you're potentially going to take a lot of damage, pull out your shield mod, so that way you have that little extra protection. Now we're going to move forward in the next arena. You can actually cheese this spot. If you jump up here, you can actually just charge an arbalist shot and keep hitting those spectre whiplashes with them. Drop down, hit them with the glory kill, run over to the teleporter, and then basically get back to the spot, rinse and repeat, or fight them head on like I do here. There's also a mega health in this area. Don't pick it up yet. We're going to pick that up right before we go into the double marauder fight. Once this area is cleared out, we're moving on, obviously. Now, there's no point in walking you through this fight. You basically just pick up the 2 power-ups and clear out this room twice, which after you do so, then go back, pick up that health power-up, and then we're going to move forward. Now we're coming across the double marauder fight, which is a bitch if you don't know how to get through it. Now, if you played the Ancient Gods DLC, you've basically fought 2 marauders at the same time already. The problem with this one is now you have a pretty big environmental hazard, which is the toxic waste. It's constantly chipping at you, which in turn triggers the marauders to activate their wolves. So there's a lot of pressure in this fight, and one of the marauders actually spawns behind you, so you're basically sandwiched in an environment that will kill you in a matter of 20 seconds. Now, I've already had the gameplay running in the background. I'm gonna walk you guys through the mentality here. So I entered the fight still thinking I'm gonna use the super shotgun ballista method to take care of both marauders. We're obviously fighting on toxic waste, so we're essentially fighting on a ticking time bomb. Now, when you come across that first marauder, I fire off a grenade to essentially make him stumble. A lot of times in this game, when you make a marauder stumble, they quickly recover. So in anticipation of that fast recovery, I fired off the ballista shot, kind of using it like a sticky bomb. The reason why I don't use sticky bombs in this fight per se is because that would be another weapon that I would have to switch to, and since I'm on console, a basic PlayStation 4 controller, I'm trying to limit the amount of factors that I need to fumble with, essentially. But after that grenade charged arbalist shot, I dash into the doorway. Now I'm safe from the environment, and I can fight this marauder one-on-one how I would normally fight them, considering the second marauder is way in the back. So I get a couple extra shots off, I dash out of the way because you don't want to get cornered here, make a beeline for the power up to regenerate my suit. I make my way towards this hilltop here, all the while I'm firing off grenades and using those charged arbalist shots as means to chip away at their health. From that hilltop, I double back to the doorway, and I'm basically just doing that back and forth. If I feel like I'm in the toxic waste just a little too long, you try to meat hook one of those fodder demon to pull yourself over to that power up to regenerate your suit, and it's all good. I mean, if you need to, you can also meat hook the marauders. Just beware, if you do that, there's a good chance you're gonna trigger them to spawn in a wolf, so be prepared for that, but you can meat hook a marauder. With the 2 marauders taken care of, the doors are going to open, revealing to you some fodder demon and a tyrant. Just ice bomb blood punch the fodder, lock on spam. For the tyrant, along with the ballista and super shotgun, you should make quick work of him. The door behind him is going to have some extra health. If you need it, go ahead and pick that up. But I suggest when you go over to this big arena, go off to the right hand side here, keep that lock on mod out, and use it on all the arachnotrons that are in the area. After you kill 4 arachnotrons, 3 revenants are going to spawn in the center, and then once those revenants are killed, I like to make my way over here because this is where the buff totem is going to be. Do note that the buff totem didn't spawn until I killed all the arachnotrons and all the revenants. I don't know if that's right, but in my gameplay that's what happened. As soon as that buff totem spawns in, you're going to get rid of it. I don't like to do this, but because of all the carcasses in the arena, I feel like it's necessary. So I would say wait maybe 15 seconds for everything to spawn in, fire off a BFG shot, and then just like I said earlier, take advantage of all the jump pads in this map and just start chipping away at all the tyrants. There's a grand total of 4, I believe, but when you kill 3 of them, the archviles are going to spawn. 2 of the archviles spawn in the center. There's 3 archviles that spawn. The 3rd one spawns right above the Slayer gate. In an ideal world, since those archviles spawn so damn close to each other, the best bet probably would be to ice bomb both of them and crucible both of them, and then if you have a second BFG blast, fire in the air, giving you a chance to clear out the arena and go and isolating the last archvile, which I kind of didn't do. I went to go take care of the archvile that's separate, and one of the other archviles teleported in front of me, so I crucibled those 2, and I basically just circled around the arena trying to isolate that last archvile and get rid of it. When I did, I basically just used the massive arena to my advantage and took advantage of all the jump pads. All that was left was a tyrant, a cyber mancubus, a cacodemon, and a bunch of fodder demon. None of those are really that big of threats when you're in the air. And that's basically it. You've completed the Super Gore Master level. Congratulations. All you gotta do is beeline towards the exit, which is not as complicated as you might think. Shield mod is a godsend. Basically makes this incredibly easy. You want to use this in a very smart way though, because you can find yourself in between a cooldown and get yourself cornered. So the first time you're gonna use your shield mod is you're gonna come across all these imps. You're gonna hit them with the flame belch, drop down a grenade, and pull out your shield mod. You're gonna wait here for a second for that cooldown to go down, then you're gonna push forward. There's going to be a mancubus that jumps up here, so what you're going to want to do is activate your shield mod, jump, and then kind of dash around it. Move past all these fodder demon, and then you're going to land on this ledge and wait for a second, so that way the tyrant can peer out while also your cooldown gets down a little bit. You're going to immediately activate your shield mod past that tyrant because there's going to be a marauder. You're going to push forward past the doom hunter. You're going to move past the doom hunter. When you get up here, you're going to grab this armor. This is the underwater section, so you're just going to dash like crazy. When you jump out of the water, go to the right to the teleporter. You're going to be confronted with all these fodder demon, but there's 2 marauders that's going to be running down the hallway towards you. So hit them with the flame belch, drop down a grenade, and pull out your shield mod, and then try to bypass these marauders as best as you can. And that's it. You fucking did it. Congratulations. You beat the Super Gore Master level on Ultra Nightmare. Hopefully, you're not dealing with as many bugs as I am. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. If you guys have any added tips or tricks, anything I missed or something I skimmed over a little bit, maybe you want to add some extra details to a specific fight, feel free to share all that stuff down in the comment section below. And lastly, like always, if you guys have not joined the Discord yet, link to that is always down in the description. Yesterday we celebrated New Year's by muting someone and all excessively pinging him. It's a very weird form of abuse, but like always guys, my name is Cynic. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully this did help you guys out. Another special thank you to your boy McCain, who was so kind enough to share some extra tips, but I'll see y'all later.